empower them, providing incentive, knowledge, opportunities, and resources that would lead them to be able to speak for themselves, free them from oppression, enhance their self-worth, dignity, and capability. It was the recurring theme throughout her long life. She was such a believer in the creation of a truly fair and just society, where everyone, especially women, children, and the youth, were participating equally and fully, that she established the Mulabayu, the Tanglao, and the Kaisang Buhay Foundations. She also co-authored with other civil law experts the Child and Youth Welfare and the New Family Codes, which also bear witness to her contributions and farsightedness institutionalizing measures for the well-being of future generations. But nowhere was her love more evident than in her involvement with the Red Cross, which she was elected national president of twice, and which to the end of her life was one of the platforms from which she continued to be active in all her advocacies, and there were many. She was elected national president twice of the Catholic Women's League and national president of the National Council of Women. She was chairperson of the International Social Service, the Unayan ng Kababaihan sa Politika, the Asian Women's Network on God and Governance, the Banao Sustainable Development Foundation, Sariling Sikap, and the Ima Foundation. Mommy liked to say that her life had been changed ever since she met Mother Teresa and saw how tenderly loving she ministered to the poorest of the poor. She liked to quote and always put into practice the following words of Mother Teresa, quote, "Unless a life is lived for others, it is not worthwhile," unquote, and quote, "We will not be judged according to the number of deeds that we have done, or by the diplomas and awards we have earned in our lifetime. We will be judged according to the love we have put in our work." Mommy was always one to put love in her work, encouraging people to do the same, to become actively involved in civil society. In January 2001, she published a primer entitled, "Lord, Teach Us to Live in the Third Millennium," which was distributed to all Red Cross chapters nationwide. In it, she wrote that reaching the new millennium was a grace granted us in this new generation and should be a time of new life, new challenges, more love and understanding, justice, prosperity, peace, and hope. Therefore, we should not be overwhelmed by what was happening around us. If we felt hopeless and frustrated, we had only to turn to our compassionate, all-powerful, and merciful God to learn from His teachings, gospel values, and way of life, to reach out to Him in prayer. After all, there were just three things that He asked us to do: to act justly, to love constantly, and to walk humbly with Him. This, in essence, was the secret of Mommy's success in life, which allowed her to give so much of herself to the service of God and others. In her own words, she wanted to know Him more clearly, to love Him more deeply, and to follow Him more nearly. Her love of God and of others was the primary motivating factor, which is why she never gave up or despaired of humanity and kept pursuing her advocacies. Every day of her life, especially as the first presiding judge of the Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court in Quezon City, as Justice of the Court of Appeals, as two-term sectoral representative for women, and as head of various social, civic, and religious organizations, she looked reality squarely in the eye without flinching. Yet she remained one of the most optimistic, if not the most optimistic people I have been privileged to know. It is only fitting that she is the recipient of this award, along with one of her dearest friends, Mrs. Esther Rivera. With Esther, with whom she helped a lot of people help themselves and others. Tita Esther, I cannot think of two better people than you and Mommy, who have consistently contributed talent, effort, and resources to volunteer work throughout their lifetime, and who are truly deserving to be regarded as role models of volunteerism. On behalf of Mommy and our family, I would like to thank the Philippine National Volunteer Service Coordinating Agency for this award, especially Executive Director Rosalito Bedera, Secretary Cayetano Padaranta Jr., Deputy Director General Margarita Sonto, and NDN Steering Committee Honorary Chair Ricky Reyes. I would also like to thank Mrs. Katie Aquino Madayala, whose mother, President Corazon Aquino, and paternal grandmother, Doña Aurora Aquino, Mommy held in the highest esteem. To all of you, thank you very much for honoring Mommy in a way that would matter very much to her. This award will be right up there with her Pro Iglesia et Fontevice PayPal Award, her Mother Teresa Award, her UP Lifetime Achievement Award, her Dingdongina Award, her Outstanding Citizen of Quezon City Award, and Farmer of the Year Award. And on behalf of Mommy, I would like to thank all the many other wonderful people who in her own words taught her how to be a real servant leader. Loyal, non-judgmental, charitable, hardworking, with a strong faith, persevering beyond all odds, supportive and loving. In short, the very heart and soul of volunteerism. Mommy, these are your fellow outstanding volunteers. This is for you. Thank you and good day.
The Honorable Secretary, Cayetano W. Padaranta, and I think Archbishop Antonio Ledesma is there. Magandang hapon po, Archbishop. And fellow awardees, yung sa search committee, members of the search committee, and yung lahat kayo. I am at the tail end of the enumeration of awardees, and I am happy for that. My task is to just say, I join my fellow awardees, and thank you all in the NEDA, especially those in the search committee, for the Volunteer Award 2010. What have I done to deserve to be an awardee? Allow me to just say I have been mostly in advocacy for women and the young, important sectors of the population that the NEDA is concerned with in this socio-economic planning program for this country. The following organization I've been with will help explain the extent of my volunteerism in all the years of my life, and which I will continue to do in the context of this award, Lifetime Awards. Some organizations I have worked with are the following. That explains my volunteerism work in all these years. The Girl Scouts of the Philippines, Mrs. Amelia Derek Goldshire, past president of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines, and also the Catholic Women's League. The Girl Scouts goals and objectives of preparing the young girls and women to be responsible citizens of the country. I've been in the National Council of Women of the Philippines, umbrella of all women's organizations whose aims are for the women to be aware and to be mobilized in solutions to national problems. Thanks to NEDA. The Philippine Commission on Women, formerly NCRFW, the government agency for women's problems and concerns. I have been a commissioner for some 9 years under 3 administrations. The Catholic Women's League or clubs for spiritual well-being, arts promotions, music clubs. I would like to mention the associations clubs I've been with. Was that will explain the work I've been doing along the line volunteerism. The Inner Clubs of the Philippines chapter, which is mother organization, the International Inner Queer, based in London, South Philippines, with programs and projects for the poor and needy around the world. Both have links with the New York-based UN Commission on the Status of Women and Children. The Philippine Red Cross chapter, which is truly well-noted humanitarian services, nandito si Corazon Armadillo, Secretary General for many years of the Philippine Red Cross, Secretary General. I also have been involved in community programs in the barangay sa Domingo, where I reside, and where I provide scholarships to the needy, the less fortunate, through the foundation of my company. And up to the cadet, in the UP Center for Women's Studies Foundation, and foremost, I think, is my involvement in support of many church activities and concerns, spiritual and critical lifetime basis for reaching out. I think and I believe that the all-embracing concept of volunteerism is best actualized through the many facets of lifelong godly services for our country and people. Thank you, everyone.
The 10 awardees. Palakpakan po natin si Congratulations once again. Director Lopez Pastrana of NEDA, Social Development Staff, will now introduce our esteemed guest of honor. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We have been eager of anticipating this gathering. Like many of you, I recognize that the opportunity to hear our speaker in person is a rare and extremely valuable opportunity. What we know is that she is one of the 4 sisters of President Benigno S. Aquino III, and the second among the 5 Aquino siblings. What you may not know is that she is an avid philanthropist and has decided to pursue education and peer advocacy in support of her brother's efforts in serving the country and our people. She is the chairperson of Aklat, Gabay, Aruga, Tungo sa Pag-aaral at Pag-asa, or AGAP, a non-governmental organization whose goal is to harness the constructive energies of volunteers who seek to continue supporting the President's agenda for good governance and for progressive national development. Through the organization's active participation in child and school-focused projects, it is able to promote the convergence of various programs and services designed for the benefit of underprivileged children who attend public schools in disadvantaged communities. In 2010, through our guest speakers' leadership and initiatives, AGAP built 27 classrooms, Apicol Silid Pangarap, and trained more than 30 teachers in depressed and disadvantaged communities nationwide. This year, AGAP is more determined to expand its activities to be able to serve a wider segment of our population. It's currently constructing more than 50 classrooms and have already trained more than 200 teachers and school heads of integrated